Hi, welcome back to our channel. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you guys are watching this video from. Today in this video, I am going to give you a quick review on the movie ADHIPURUSH. Alright, let's get on with the review. When I went to watch this movie, I have a mixed reactions. I have a mixed emotions, not reactions. I had a mixed emotions because there are a lot of childhood memories of mine associated with this, with Ramayana. When I was a child, we used to watch Ramayana with my mom and dad, my brother. So we have a lot of memories when it comes to Ramayana, and I did not want the creators of this Adipurush to mess up those memories or mess up the essence of Ramayana. And I was praying that they would do good or they would be better, because in that era, in the old era, they didn't, even though they did not have the technology like us, they didn't have the money budget like us, like today. That was fantastically made, right? It's one of the most epic saga of all time. And now with all the technology, with the money, I was hoping for the best. All right, so let's see. And with all these emotions, I went and I watched the movie 3 hours. I sat in the movie theater for 3 hours. Coming back, I was disappointed. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm disappointed with it. I'm really disappointed actually with this movie. The first thing the first problem with this movie itself is the time, right? 3 hours. I know 3 hours is a long period of time, but the decision that they made to make a Ramayana and fit everything in one sittings for 3 hours, I think that was the biggest issue with the movie itself. They should have broken down this Ramayana into Adipurush into at least 3 or 4 installment, so that they could have better planned, they could have better characterization of the whole movie. Because right now, if you think about it, right, if someone goes and watches Adipurush and who does not know anything about Ramayana or Ram, and they will be like scratching their heads saying like, what's going on, sorry, who's this person, you know like cinemas today are made in a global level, right? And it should reach the global audiences. And for anybody outside this vicinity who has not watched Ramayana, it's going to be a hard time understanding them. There will be a lot of asking and a lot of talking, asking like, what's going on, who's this, why is this happening? So what I'm saying is, if the director only made this movie for people who watched Ramayana, that's fine. But with all the movies that's going Oscar, like just the RRR won Oscar, right? It has been recognized all over the world. And I think they should have a bigger vision, because Ramayana's epic saga itself is a huge epic. And there are so many things that we can share with the rest of the world, right? When it comes to Ramayana. And they should have taken this opportunity. They had the resource, they had the money, they had the budget, they had the backing, they have the cast and crews, everything was there, but they just failed in delivering education, right? Doing the education of the ideas. I think that's where they fell flat. To tell you the truth, cramping everything in 3 hours, it was a huge mistake. Director had a big vision, and I think he just tried to swallow something that he cannot even chew, right? So basically that's what it is. It's good to be over ambitious, but sometimes that would be the downfall. I think that's what it is right in this movie. The 3 hour was too short. Everything happened so fast, one after another. It's a really fast pace. There is no stability in this movie. It's always going up and in a high voltage octane fight kind of thing. It looks like an action movie, right? Even though Ramayana itself has an action, but there are a lot of things that people can learn from Ramayana. The crews and the cast did amazing job. I liked Pravas's acting as Ram. Sometimes it felt like one note acting, one dimensional acting. He's always talking in the same tone. But other than that, it was fine. I do feel like Pravas should have not bulked and looked jacked. He should have leaned. Hanuman's character also did a really great job. I do feel like the Hanuman's character, they could have made the Hanuman character a little bit bigger, because when Ram and Hanuman is on the same level, Hanuman looks shorter, and Hanuman is supposed to be this big almighty god, and he's always bigger, right? They do show in some of the scenes where Hanuman gets big, but I do think like there is the mixed match there. The choices of oh, one thing I really wanted to point out, that the standout in this movie is Saif Ali Khan's character Ravan. He did an amazing job in this movie. The choreographer Saif Ali Khan, where he started, maybe the first movie was Dil Lagi, I think, to where he is now today, is amazing, right? He's now one of the best actors in India, and he did a great job in this as well, in this role as well. Um, so that was the actors. I think I wanted to talk the elephant in the room, that is the VFX, right? This is the worst VFX I've ever seen in a big screen. It felt like this was a really cheap movie, like the third grade cheap movies that that you can see. um, and I felt, with all the budget and all the movie, I don't know who approved this to be go on the floor, is out of my mind. It's like so bad. It's like everything is bad, like about the VFX. There might be a glimpse of brilliance here and there, but most of the time the VFX sucks. That is, sorry, but it sucks. um I don't know, like when they first released the first trailer, there was a lot of backlash when it comes to the VFX. They did something with it, but I don't think they did enough, you know. And I think this is gonna be another thing that will break the camel's back, Um, VFX is so bad in this movie. I cannot even believe it. They did that. There's a lot of inspiration that this movie is trying to gather from shows like Game of Thrones, um, Planet of the Apes, Avengers movie, Avatar. When Ram and Sita, like Janaki, are on that raft, and they are going through the water river. They're like flowers and the fish and this and that. Even that scene is like not bright enough, right? It's like dull. The color coordination, the color, I don't know, the texture of the picture itself, it doesn't look that good. It's not worth going to watch it in a bigger screen, right? It's supposed to be like engaging for us when you watch in a bigger screen, but it's not. um the proportion of the dimension and the proportion of the characters that they came up with, the Balis and all those characters, even the bat that Ravan rides in this movie, it's straight out of Game of Thrones. They are trying to show the bat as the dragon, that Daenerys rides. It's like that, and the proportion is so bad. So one of these shots, when Ravan or the Saif Ali Khan is on top of the bat, and some of the shots, like Ravan's head looks bigger than the bat's head. It's like so bad. Like how can I don't understand. I don't understand. It's out of my mind. I can't even say anything. It's just bad. It's really really bad. Um, the fight scenes in this movie, I think, is ordinary. It's really really ordinary. I was really expecting Raman to have more, the legacy, or the original fights where they fight with bows and arrows, or when they shoot bows, the shoot, like all those things. As a child, I always loved those things, and I was hoping they will also show some of those things, but those were lacking in this movie. The only bows and arrows that are being used are by Ram and Lakshman. The end fight with Ravan is also not bow and arrow; it's all hand-to-hand combat. It's like any other movies. Like Ram is, like, most of his fights are like hand-to-hand combat, and with a couple of bow and arrow shots here and there. And one thing I really didn't like about this movie, and also I was surprised, was like they are trying to come up with their own ideas about, like, for instance, I will give you an example. At the end, when Ram is trying to kill Ravan, and he hits in his head a couple of times, but every time new head comes in, right? And at that time, in the original Ramayana, Vibhishan is the one who tells Ram to shoot in his belly, so that's where all his power is lying, right? So if you shoot on it, that's how you die. Here, all of a sudden, there's a voice coming from the sky. That's Brahma's voice, and then Ram figures out and then kills him. Those smallest of things are like they are not sticking to the same pattern from the original classic Ramayana. And I did not like about that thing. Smallest things like, you know, how Ram was always using karagu, you know, the flip flop that he used to wear. Here he's wearing sandals, and that looks like sandals from this era. You know, the smallest of things. They didn't keep track of the details, and some of the army on the Ravan side, they look like Night King from Game of Thrones, straight up Night King from Game of Thrones. All of the armies from the Ravan side is all fictional characters. They are not human. They are showing Ravan to be someone from the dead or something like that, someone from the underground or something like that, right? But Ravan actually was not only bad, he was also a good king. He was a brilliant mind, and those are the things that they haven't shown up around. They are only showing a menacing character, a menacing person who stole someone else's wife, and that he's really ruthless. You know, they are only touching that part of Ravan. They should have done a little bit better job on that part. His kingdom, Lanka, looks dark, and it doesn't have any clarity on that. It looks just dark, and it looks like something at the background, and it looks bad. It looks really, 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 really bad. His son's characters, Indrajit and Kumbhakarna. Indrajit, even though he looks menacing, but I think the character could have been a little bit. They could have worked a little bit more on their characters to make it a little more menacing, the way Indrajit was. And even the Kumbhakarna's fight, I think it's sad to see how they kill it, because they didn't have enough time, so they have to do something about it. And that's when Ram shoots a couple of arrows and he dies. Overall, the movie itself is really, really disappointing. You know, from director's perspective to editing to the scripts to even the songs. There were a couple of songs. The songs are not that good. I don't even know they should have a song in this movie. There's hardly anything that I can say good thing about movie. Sorry, I'm not hating, but that's what it is, right? I'm telling you the truth. How I felt about watching this movie. This is a really disappointing movie. If I have to give a score, I'll give 1 out of 10. And I do think like you should not go watch this movie and just wait until it gets released on the OTT platform if you really wanted to watch it. But it's just gonna be a waste of time. Man, I really wish I liked this movie though, but it's what it is. So these are all my views and my personal views regarding this movie. It's not like you have to agree with it. If you don't agree, you can put a comment below and let me know if you like this movie or not. I don't have any personal grudge against any of these characters or any of these movie creators. It's just the truth. The movie was not good, and I don't think it's gonna do good. Maybe they will do for a couple of days, but I don't think this movie's gonna make any money. So yeah, guys, this was the review. If you like my review or this kind of video, please do subscribe to our channel. Until then, bye.